Hello, hello, hello. It is Sunday, December 14th, and today we're going to talk about decision making in uncertain markets. Winners decide early. And I would say that December or 2025 has been an uncertain market for so many industries. Now, remember, I'm doing these to talk to my real estate team, but I feel like everything is such a crossover, right? And so why don't we talk about what happens when you're first to market? And sometimes when you're first to market, that's when you take the biggest risk. But when you take the biggest risk, what do you have? You have the biggest rewards. Kind of a double-edged sword here, right? So, there's just decisions out there when it comes to our businesses, when it comes to building a business. If you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, intrapreneur, and there's decisions that we have to make. Okay. There's decisions that we have to make that are for the good of our business. And I can't tell you how many times, y'all, I have tried to be first to market with things, whether it's a marketing idea, whether it's a ad campaign. I mean, many, many different, bringing the Fiat 500 back to America. Boy, I got laughed at on that deal. They're like, wait a minute, you're going to bring a car back that left is Fix It Again, Tony? Like, yeah, I am. I believe. I'm going to be early in that thought. So let's talk about the core principle of making decisions or decision making in uncertain markets. All right, and that winners decide early. So uncertain markets do not reward hesitation. Okay, they reward decisive leadership. I mean, there are just times, guys, you need to pull the plug. I tell that to my sellers also a lot of times. I'm just like, if you sit around and wait for something to happen, you're going to miss the market. So people that win in these markets are ones that are not afraid to pull the trigger. And it takes courage. I tell you guys, the entrepreneurship, real estate business, it's not for sissies. You've got to get really good with yourself on the inside and learn to trust yourself, trust your gut. You know what? Trust your gut about people. Trust your gut about deals. Trust your gut about situations. I mean, God gave us that intuition so that we can make better decisions. I promise you that's the truth. When the environment is unclear, the people who move first gain the advantage. So, you guys always hear it's best to be first to market. And I remember when my team broke the world sales record with Fiat. And it was for 100 cars. We had to sell 100 Fiat 500s. And I remember the CEO, Tim Kuniskis, told me something. I said, you know what? Other people will do it. Was it really that big of a deal that we do it? And he goes, it's a big deal because you'll be the first to do it. And anytime you're the first to do anything, that's when it's a big deal. Anyone else who comes after you, and there were others that came after us, no one's going to talk about it. And they don't, and they didn't. So uncertainty is a leadership test. Most people wait when markets feel unstable. Winners lean in. Now, what does that mean in real estate? There's a lot of buying opportunities right now in the real estate industry. And so, there's a lot of investments, prices have gone down, things are a little unstable. So if you're somebody out there and you like to roll the dice and on anything, and when the market's good and it's robust and things are rolling and going and rolling and going and rolling, hello, Joe Ingram, then you don't have the chance or the opportunity to make near as much money as when you're willing to throw your hat in the arena when things are a little uncertain. And trust the gut, okay? Trust the gut. It will not let you down. Uncertainty exposes those who lead without guarantees. When turbulence hits a plane, you don't want the pilot to asking the passengers, what do? You want decisive leadership, right? So, I think about how I've had to lead in the last 12 months. When I have people calling me saying, I don't know if I should stay in, if I should get out, I've got to pay my bills. And I tell them if I believe that they've got talent, I'm like, if there's any way at all, lean in. Go harder than your competition. Learn more than your competition, lean in, believe in yourself, outwork everybody else, and you will survive this market. And I had one of our agents call me the other day and tell me, thank you for saying that to me. She had the best, and she's on my top 30 list. She had the best November she's ever had in her entire real estate career. And she said, that's because I leaned in. I quit listening to the naysayers. I turned off the television. I did the work. I made the phone calls. I went out and talked to the people. Like, I did everything you told me to do. And I sold 4 houses, and I made enough money to pay off all the debt I had accrued. I have some money put back. I'm going to have a good Christmas, but more importantly, I believe in me now more than I have ever believed in myself. I literally, y'all, I was just like this on the phone. I was just like, oh my God, I love it when I'm right. I love it when I'm right about somebody. And I know this gal, and she's amazing. And I knew if she would just lean in and believe in herself, she had the network, she had the experience, she had everything it took to win. And now she proved it to herself. So decision making in uncertain markets, okay? She decided to bet on herself. Early decisions control the narrative. Those who decide early shape pricing, positioning, and perception. Hey, if you're the first one to the market, you get to lead the parade. It's your way. You get to set the pricing. You get to decide the narrative. You get to create the momentum. You get to create the buzz. You get to come out first. Okay? So whatever it is that you're doing, don't follow the pack. Go out and try to create your own narrative. The market listens to the first confident voice, not the loudest one later. And that goes right along with the story I told you a few minutes ago about my friend Tim Kaniskas, who told me that with Fiat. I'm like, dude, why are we killing ourselves for this? He's like, because it's always best to be the first. What does Ricky Bobby say? If you're not first, you're last. Okay. There's nothing wrong with being number one, with being first to market in your market with an idea, with whatever it is you're doing. All right. Momentum comes from action, not clarity. Waiting for perfect data kills momentum. Winners move with incomplete information and adjust as needed. Sometimes, man, you just got to jump in. You got to jump in and you've got to believe. If you wait for, what do they say about perfection? Drawing a blank, but anyways, the bottom line is if we wait for perfect market conditions every single time that we're trying to do a deal, you're never going to do a deal. There are no perfect market conditions. There are times that are better than others, but there's nothing perfect. You don't need certainty to move forward. You need courage. Just like I told that agent of ours, girl, you got this. And know this about me as a leader. If I think someone doesn't have the hustle, they don't have the grit, they don't have the drive, I think that everybody has got the talent. I really do. I don't know that anyone's more talented than somebody else. I believe that they'll outwork them. They've got more grit, they've got more drive, they've got more hustle, and they've got more heart. Real estate, selling, owning a business, entrepreneurship, it is a heart game. It's a heart issue. You got to love what you do. You got to love your people. You got to love, you got to be a big bundle of love who's really strategic, really fierce, really tough, a great negotiator. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to look in the mirror. You got to love your product. You got to believe what you're doing. You got to believe in who you're doing it with. You got to believe the company that stands behind you. That's why I think I've done so well with eXp Realty. Because my team will tell you, Annie's on here, she's on my team. She'll tell you, I tell them every week, we are so blessed to be with such an amazing company. All these other guys out there, I've checked them all out. I'm a top recruiter. So of course I know, and Jamie's on my team. She'll tell you, I know that we are with the best real estate brokerage on the planet. Nobody can touch us. We are agent centric. We are centric to our clients. We have the technology. We have everything. So knowing that, when I can go in and I can recruit based on that, I can close my clients based on that, I can get listings based on that, I can do all of that because I know that I love who I do it with and the company that I work for. One of my very favorites is I'm making notes. We are absolutely, Annie. Indecision is still a choice. Not deciding is choosing delay, loss, and missed opportunities. The market never pauses for comfort. Listen to that, guys. The market never stops. And it isn't going to go, okay, well, wait a minute. Let us pause here and let Lisa decide whether she thinks that that's a good deal or if she should buy that house or if she should do that deal, or if it's time for you to put your house on the market, right? These are things that, guys, as I do this for my team, that you guys are going to have to talk through with people. Okay. Decisive leaders create confidence. Clients, teams, and partners follow confidence, not perfection. So if you're a leader out there, you don't have to be perfect. I am so far from perfect, but the people on here, they'll tell you right now, or if you're listening to this later, my team will tell you, I have the confidence. I have the confidence in my company. I've got the confidence in my organization. I've got the confidence in my direct team. I've got the confidence in my staff, and I've got the confidence in myself that we are the very best at what we do. Period. End of story. And with that type of confidence, I can sell it to anybody, and so can you. So whatever you're doing, whoever you're doing it with, whatever you're selling, if you don't feel as resolute as I do about who you're doing it with, the product you're selling, the company that backs you, the people you do it with, your team, your staff, whatever, then you need to do something different, or you need to do a gut check and a heart check, because it may not be them. It may be you. Winners decide before they feel ready. Readiness is a result of action, not a prerequisite. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence does not build momentum. So good. Action creates belief, not the other way around. Okay. And just like the gal I told you about, she took action. That's the only reason that she believes in herself, is because she proved to herself what she could do, how she could do it. She proved that she could sell enough houses to dig herself out of the hole. She listened to what I told her. She was on my trainings every week. She was on Haas's trainings every week. She was on the EXP trainings every week. She was reading books. She was talking to people. She was digging in. She dug in so deep because I said, look, the worst thing you can do is to quit on yourself. Like, that would break my heart if you quit on yourself. It would. It would. I just think the world of this person. And I know what her talents are. I know what she's capable of. But what I also know is that she was not putting in the hustle, the grit, and the grind. She just wasn't. And I knew that too. So I said, before you quit on yourself, because remember me going back to all the stuff I talked about, oh, you're lying to yourself. And if you lie to yourself, everything, just the little things you lie to yourself about, like not getting up and working out in the morning, sucks. It sucks, right? You start your whole day lying to yourself, and then it just goes downhill from there. So she took action, had some success. Now she believes in herself, and that's all she needed. And I know that she'll continue because now she's proved it to herself. In the Christian world, we say, what is faith without action? Like how do we have faith if nothing bad happens? Or how do we have faith, or how do you build faith if you don't have to count on God? Well, how do you build faith in yourself if you don't put yourself to the test? And you're putting yourself to the test, and you're back up against a wall when you're willing to go all in on you. In uncertain times, winners don't wait. They decide early and they adjust fast. Write that one down. In uncertain times, winners don't wait. They decide early and they adjust fast. So what decision are you postponing right now that could cost you from moving forward today? What is it? What is it? So I want you guys and gals to think about that. You guys can see the football game behind me. It's my house all weekend long. That's my husband. Yep, we need to learn to fail fast. But Annie, I like you said that. But sometimes people throw in the towel too quickly. All right, they're like, oh, I failed, I quit. And I'm like, you might have failed. You might just need to pivot. You might need to do a one degree adjustment, right? So, it starts with your purpose. What is your purpose? Why do you do what you do? Would you do what you do if there was no money involved? Like, right, if money was not an issue, what would you do? What would you do? And if you really, really love what you do, you've got to be willing to kind of turn and adjust and the 1 degree shift and maybe make a pivot over here and maybe take some feedback from, your coach or your leader like me, whatever that looks like. And everybody fails. I fail. You fail. We fail in the little things. We fail in the big things. But, the ones that are the most successful are the ones who can get up, dust themselves off and say, you know what, I'm going to try this again. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to work smarter. I'm going to dig in. I'm going to seek help. I'm going to seek advice. I'm going to come to my leaders and my mentors, and I'm going to say, here's what I'm doing. Is there something I should be doing differently? Because I'm going to tell y'all, there's typically something you should be doing differently. It's a 1 degree shift. So many times with my people, it's a 1 degree shift. And man, they get that 1 degree. Hi, Ted. They get that 1 degree. They get that 1 degree shift, and they are rock stars. So don't throw in the towel. Don't give up on yourself until you've gone to somebody, you've had honest conversations, not only with yourself, but with your mentor, with your leaders, with your manager, with your boss. Give it all you've got. You know, decision-making in uncertain markets is hard. It's tough. It's scary. It takes courage. I understand that more than anybody. I promise you, I make a lot of big decisions in this market, and then I pray a lot. And you know, sometimes I think maybe God keeps us kind of on our, I can't speak for you, so let me back that statement up. I feel like with me, that God puts me in these positions sometimes where I really have to count on him, where I've really got to, you know, like when I'm going out on something that I'm like, I'm not sure. And then I pray about it, and I either I get a big knot in my stomach, or it's like hard no, stop. Or I get peace about it, and it still looks big and it still looks monumental, but I get this crazy peace about it, and then doors start to open. I can't explain it. I wish I could. I'm going to be speaking at FIRE, Faith in Real Estate and Business, and I'm going to tell that story. I'm going to talk about that. But I have just found that when I ask, I receive from God. And I get closed doors and I get open doors. And hey, sometimes I'm wrong. You know, sometimes I don't hear it the right way. But I always go to my higher power. And I would recommend that also. But don't just quit on yourself. And just know that everybody who's first to market, Ted's saying you need to love what you do. You told me that, you told me years ago, the fortune's in the follow-up, and that has stuck with me. Thanks, Ted. Yeah, the fortune is in the follow-up. And I love what I do. I don't know, I mean, I love real estate, but the more importantly, and this is why I think I've been in every business I've ever been in, it's related to sales, it's related to people. I was in the mortgage business for years. I was in the insurance business. I had a boutique. I did. That's why you guys see me in so many crazy clothes. In the car business, like everywhere. And the common denominator is people. It's people. I love to see people win. I love to see my clients win. I love to see them make money. I love to see them get the perfect house. I like people to win. I like to see my team win. I used to love to get someone in the perfect car. When I owned an insurance company, I wanted to get them the best insurance. I don't know. That to me is my common denominator. So what is your common denominator? What is it that you can do that nobody else can do? That becomes your superpower. And when you hone in on your superpower, uncertain markets, tough times, it won't affect you. I promise you, it will not affect you. All right, guys, I will see you again tomorrow. Remember, I do not promise what time I'm coming. I just promise you that I will be here. So I'll see you sometime, probably mid-morning for me tomorrow, looking at my schedule. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And Ted and Annie and Jamie and Joe Ingram, thank you guys all. And Jamie Church, thank you guys for popping on. I see you. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye-bye.